We agree with the propositions to stop hostilities, but we proceed from the fact that such ceasefire should be such that would lead to a permanent peace and remove the initial, original causes of the crisis.
I don't disagree with him saying I agree with this ceasefire in principle. Because here's the thing. If it was the only two people that genuinely want this to stop is Putin and Trump. Trump wants the peace deal under his belt, and Vladimir is basically going to win, right? I mean, the UN's not going to be on his doorstep. He's going to keep part of Ukraine, all this stuff, and the war finally stops. If it was up to Zelensky, anybody in Congress, anybody in the United Nations, anybody in Europe, they would keep this war going. And I think it's a smart, calculated move what Vladimir's doing, talking in this manner, because he might come to the table with Trump and talk peace agreements, and then Germany and England might just send boots on the ground and have planes in the sky bombing Russia just to tank the peace deal because we have to oppose Trump.
Putin is looking for a resolution to this. It sounds like he is. And he's agreeing in principle to a ceasefire, but he's not agreeing to the ceasefire on paper yet.
Right.
He does say a little bit later on that he wants to meet with Trump. And again, he will agree to the ceasefire if it means that the ceasefire will lead to like a lasting peace,
long-term peace, yeah,
and a resolution to the whole beef. Why would that be? Well, if you look back to recent history, you look back to a little bit more kind of recent history in the past 10 years, the West has signed, in a sense, ceasefire deals with Russia in Ukraine, the Minsk Accords, right? And the Minsk Accords essentially were like, okay, we're not going to get involved in the West, and Ukraine will respect the Russian speakers in the Donbass and etc. Blah blah blah, and that prolonged any sort of conflict for a couple of years. I think it was Angela Merkel who came out after this war started and basically was like, yeah, the whole reason why we even signed those Minsk Accords is so that we could buy time to arm Ukraine to fight Russia later. So that's the way that Vladimir Putin is looking at this right now. Like, are they just going to agree to a ceasefire so that they could give Ukraine like a respite and then
get the minerals out of Ukraine and then start the war again?
Start rebuilding the Ukrainian army after we just smashed them down to nothing, give them a couple of years to rearm, rebuild, build Ukraine back up. Then they're going to, start again like this internal civil conflict, and we're back where we started.